You're listening to Mark of the Maker. Hey everybody, I'm Mark Steiner and you're listening to Mark of the Maker. This is episode 115 of the show, and we have our whole crew here with us today. We have Mr. Michael Birch.
I am here.
We have Mr. Tom Crine.
Hello.
And we have Mr. Sean Kendrick.
Here I am, rock you like a hurricane.
There you go. Little scorpions to start us out. I like it. We do have some friends of ours to thank before we get rolling here. We have a picks episode for you. So for those of you who like picks, rub your hands furiously together because we got a whole bunch of them and some interesting stuff coming. And I do have kind of a shitty cold, so I apologize for that. My voice sounds different. So
cool.
Right. We first want to start out by thanking our friends on Patreon. Go to patreon.com, patreon.com, search for Mark of the Maker, and you can find us. There's a link on our website as well. Patreon's a way you can support the show through pledging a certain number of dollars every month. There's a whole bunch of different tiers with different stuff that goes along with it. And that is a significant part of what enables us to keep this show going. So high five to all of our friends on Patreon, and thanks for sticking with us. We got folks that have been there for years at this point, which is beautiful. And like we say, it helps keep the lights on and mics moving and mics replaced and all kinds of crazy stuff that happens. So thanks to everybody on our Patreon.
You guys are
Yeah,
on.
I think so.
Yeah, thank you. And you guys have the patience of Job. We truly appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Tom, you got one?
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to our friends over at Giant Mouse. Man, I was just looking at their stuff again, and there's so many things that are really sweet. And I'd recommend you do what I did. I just jumped on. I just put an Ace Jutland in green in my cart and checked out. So I have a Giant Mouse on the way. Pretty sweet stuff. I can't wait to get it. I've handled some of the other ones in the past, and this one with that long clip just speaks to me. And I've been wanting to grab one for a while, and I just did it. So that's my advice. Go to the website, which is giantmouse.com, and hook yourself up.
Dude, sweet score. That is my favorite pattern they make, and it is a bad motherfucker.
Yeah.
Right. And then green canvas micarta, it's sexy.
Yeah, exceedingly so.
Can't miss with green canvas.
They got a lot of cool pieces and different sizes and blade shapes. The other one I really like and almost got was the Grand. That one is a nice size folder with that kind of chunky clip. I like that one too. But yeah, I like them. I like quite a few of them, but I've wanted one for a while, and now I've got one on the way.
Hey, and like Michael always says, invest in yourself.
Yeah.
I always say it.
Sean, you got one more to wrap us up?
Yep, we've got to give a big shout out to friends of the show, Bob and Sue's Tergiola. Bob has a video series coming out that I've been previewing, and it's called Sharp Life, and it is just fantastic. Really recommend you guys pick it up. The production quality is excellent, and it's basically a video version of Bob's tactical folding knife book, and it's just super, super well done. Very informative. I can't recommend it highly enough. And then on an aside, for you guys who are subscribed to Bob's Shop Talk, I'll be featured on Shop Talk on March the 20th. So if you're going to be there, I'll see you there, and let's talk some knives. And to find all of this quality swag, go to terzuola.net. That's TERZUOLA.net, or you can find them on Instagram at terzuola_design. And man, seriously, the video series is excellent. I've been really, really enjoying it, and big thanks to Suze to getting that forwarded to me.
Very cool. That'll be fun going on their Zoom thing.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Well, Michael, you got a top. Michael picked the topic this time around, and we'll have him explain exactly what it is, or kind of what it is.
Yeah, this is going to be definitely a Google type of thing, so don't do it while you're driving or whatever. You can listen, just wait till you get home. But we do a lot of picks episodes, which means we pull a lot of the books from our shelves. We look through them, and we usually end up sending these really odd, throwback knives back and forth to each other, and we figured we might as well just do it as an episode. These can be some of the stuff that's like well-known makers that maybe made something a little bit out of their wheelhouse, or something that we may have kind of forgotten, some makers from the past that are made some really cool stuff. So we just kind of told each other pick a fixed blade, a folder, kind of a EDC grab bag, and went with it. So I'm interested to see what everyone picks here.
Yeah. So I think we're calling it Allure of the Obscure, but we don't mean obscure in any kind of derogatory way. This is like cool and maybe hasn't seen the light of day in a while.
Nope, just because it rhymed.
Well, I know a couple of mine. You're going to be like, damn, you don't see that every day.
There you go. Yep, same with mine. I got a couple that are like that for sure.
Yeah, I like finding that funky stuff. I mean, I think a big part of it was finding that Chris Reeves, 45 lock?
Yeah.
One of the old books, and it was like, that's a big piece of history that a lot of us kind of forgot about.
Yep, for sure. All right. Well, I have to say, I don't know that any of mine are Googleable, actually. I took stuff completely out of the books. I didn't pull any stuff from online. And a couple of them I actually went to look up and see if there was more information. So I had more to talk about when I showed them. And most of them I couldn't find anything, which kind of sucks. But one thing you
should... that too, man.
Yeah. So one thing you should do as our I'm going to call him listener. Our listener is go to the Mark of the Maker Facebook group, because I think we've done a generally pretty darn good job, recent history anyway, with posting pictures of our pics. Yeah. In our Facebook group. So if you're on Facebook, go join our group and go check out the photos. I snapped photos as I kind of wrote these down and put them together, and I'm sure the guys did too. So we can at least show you some of these real cool pieces from in some cases, pretty old books.
Yeah. Well, I think you got the first pick, buddy. What are you going to go with?
Let me see here. I got it right here. Oh yeah, I got to send a picture to you guys. And this is a guy that we've talked about before, actually a couple times. So not an obscure maker by any stretch. Anybody who's been around for a while knows who this guy is. And his name is Tom Maringer. Mm-hmm. Tom made lots and lots of really cool stuff. And the one I picked as my fixed blade, we're going to do these in order. Fixed blade, folder, and then dealer's choice, wildcard, EDC, sword, whatever. That's going to be the really fun one. This one is my fixed blade choice. It is, again, from Mr. Tom Maringer. And I thought it was a really funky piece. Now, I know part of it is the angle of the photo, but I liked the description. Tom Maringer's Blue Fire is the name of the sword, but it's described as a short sword of massive construction with a blue gemstone set in the pommel. It's got, it's very broad, the blade, right? Super wide.
Thick.
Yeah.
Girthy.
It's girthy. Yeah. The handle is super girthy, right? It's got the twisted wire wrapped kind of handle. Looks like it's all fully polished. It's hard to tell from old black and white pictures. It has a very 3-dimensional guard, and it is a thick dude. It's short and stumpy.
Yeah, I saw that one today, and it. I'm sure a bit of it's how he's holding it, but it almost looks like he cannot get his fingers around the whole handle.
Right.
But it's very early Maringer, kind of elvish type of short sword looking fantasy.
Elvish is a very good description.
But once again, it's gorgeous. I don't think he made much that wasn't.
I'd love to know the story behind that.
Right?
Dude, there's got to be one.
A dude with a huge hand.
Like he was making a bigger sword and it broke.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's just crazy looking.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, this is, I think I mentioned earlier, or maybe before we got started, I tried to Google all these and I couldn't find any reference to them online. There is reference to a sword called Blue Fire from some literature stuff. So maybe this is tied into that, but I didn't see anything about this specific short sword. But yeah, it's a stumpy little guy. And, but I thought it was really cool. Super, super clean. You know, Tom always has done fantastic work. So it's kind of one from the Wayback Machine. I pulled this out of Knives 83. So if any of you have these Knives annual books, this one's from Knives 83, picture 91.
Yeah, the Google had really kind of let me down on a bunch of the stuff, and it has been recently for finding any of this crap. I've got a couple that I was able to pull some other pictures from, but damn, it was tough.
Yeah.
So I don't know where it is, but I remember Tom saying he's got all those swords and stuff were numbered pieces. So somewhere he's got a list of all of them with the story about it. And I thought it was online somewhere. I'm on
Oh, wow.
Shire Post looking right now, but I don't see anything about his knives on there.
Yeah, we should ask him.
If you reached out to him, I know he personally has a list of all the numbered pieces he did. And I bet there's a crazy story on that one.
Well, I'll put that on my to-do list. Yeah, it'd be interesting to know. It would also be interesting to see it in a proper face-on photo. I have a feeling it's quite a bit longer than it looks in this picture, right? This looks like a sword for J.R.R. Tolkien dwarf or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's very cool. I thought it was an interesting piece, and apparently this was at an early 80s guild show. That's the only other info that I could find in the Knives annual book.
That's pretty cool.
Right on that same page, he's got another fantastic looking sword, and it's kind of like the polar opposite. It's thin and it's very long. It's a great looking, I think it's a two-hander even maybe. But yeah, check out page.
You handed the long way, not the other way.
Yeah, not the sideways. Right. He's got a takedown. It's not a two-hander, I guess, but he had a takedown sword in here too. That's really, really cool looking. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of cool stuff right in this section of the book. I had a hard time picking, truth be told, but I'd never seen anything that had this kind of strange proportion. So there you go. My first attempt at obscure.
Yeah, very cool.
I dig it.
Who's up next? Sean, Fixblade.
All right, so the way I'm going to handle this is I'm going to walk us into the obscure with a series of 3 picks. Your first pick is going to be tactical, and you're going to be like, well, that's pretty cool. The second piece is kind of a fantasy-themed yet still practical piece. And you're going to be like, well, that's really cool. And then you're going to see this last pick, and you're going to be, by God, that is obscure.
Wow. So
we have a theme.
You did 9 picks.
I did a few. This is all from the same guy's website. I rabbit holed this dude for a little bit.
All right.
But
I won't accuse you of cheating to your face anyway.
It won't be the first time. It won't be the last, buddy.
That's right.
All right. So I'm taking a sampling from a maker named Jay Fisher. He's been making for, it would seem, quite a while. And he's looks to be full service. Like the dude has done a little bit of everything. And to you guys in the Facebook group, when I share pictures, I'll also share a link to his website because he's got a ton of photos on there that you can just browse through. So the first picture I'm sending to you guys is an example of one of his tactical knives. And it's just a really cool kind of ringed fighter with a double-edged reinforced tonto point, serrated back edge, exposed skull cracker. Just a super cool looking knife.
That is really cool.
Yeah, wicked tactical, right?
Yeah.
What's up with the sheath?
Dude, I'm guessing that's like a quick release.
Some kind of lock? Yeah.
Yeah. Your finger goes through the single finger hole, and as it goes through the single finger hole, it hits that tab.
Oh, yeah.
And then you draw quick.
Oh, that's clever.
But that's
at least that's what I'm guessing.
That looks like the backside, though. Because the knife would go, what?
I don't think so.
Oh, maybe not. Maybe that's the guard I'm seeing molded in. The molding on the sheath isn't super.
Yeah, not super defined. I get where you're coming from there.
Yeah, I bet it's upside down to show the reach through finger release, because that has to be what that paddle is.
Gotta be.
That is a really cool piece, man.
Yeah, super cool tactical piece. But is it obscure? Maybe a little, but not that much.
This piece also screams Sean Kendrick when I look at it. I was not at all surprised.
Well, now you say that now, but then I'm going to send this picture, and now you can say it again.
Buckle up, buddy. Oh, gee whiz. Okay, yeah.
That's like
And this
Conan.
is his. Yeah, this is his Desert Wind. I'm guessing like a Persian-y upswept blade.
Oh, yeah.
Super cool presentation stand where the blade itself passes through these 3 rings and it's suspended at the handle and at the tip like it's floating within the rings.
Super cool.
And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
stuck in is the tip stuck in that bottom block?
it's got to be.
I'd say it's got a little indent
Yeah.
Yeah.
for the rest in.
Or maybe an indent and a magnet.
That's a cool display.
That is a
Dude,
cool
right?
display.
Yeah, when I saw it, I was like, yeah, that's a little bit of okay. I like what he's doing.
What does that name say on it? Beast Wind? What is that? It's Desert Wind?
Desert Wind. That's the name of that piece.
Is that some sort of
Photography.
stone for the handle?
Man, the
man.
picture. See, that's what I was thinking. Like maybe it was some kind of recon stone. I'm not sure.
I know he did a lot of lapidary handle things.
Yeah, he did do. Yeah, he did have actually a lot of stone work on his site. Now that I'm thinking about.
It's hard to tell if it's textured or if it's just crazy graining, right? Or
I'm pretty sure
ripples
that's
inside.
graining of some sort in
Yeah.
a stone.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that a lot. That's like
I keep thinking malachite, but I don't know shit about stones, so I'm probably way
I don't
fucking
think
off.
it is.
yeah. That's Sean Kendrick poke you right in the aorta kind of knife. I like it.
Yeah, and while it's
Mhm.
very cool and quite fantastic, is it obscure? Not obscure enough for our purposes.
That's right. And you need background music. I have to mix some background music in here. Dun, 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 dun.
Can we afford Hans Zimmer?
Boom, chicka, chicka, boom. chicka.
We can afford anybody. We just can't do it legally. Is all.
Yeah.
Depends on how you define afford, Michael.
Yeah. Can we afford the lawyers after?
I'm sure our listener won't tell. All right, let's hit us with the mind blowing, super obscure,
This is truly obscure.
truly obscure.
Oh, good Lord.
Wow.
All right.
All right.
Okay, this sword, it's a double-edged long sword. Got to be a two-handed handle. The guard is like 2 snakes that intertwine with their heads facing each other at the blade. And what really makes this special is, well, the blade itself is 54 inches long. That's 54 inches of double hollow ground 440C.
Shoo.
What really makes this obscure is the base. The base, according to my info here, is 400 pounds of bronze sculpted into a dragon
Holy.
with aventurine and blue tiger eye inlays.
Wow.
Lord.
400 pounds.
400 pounds of fucking bronze.
The guards also are kind of a weird thing, the way they wrap around.
Yeah.
But yeah, that
Yeah.
statue's awesome.
I mean, that's what really makes it obscure. We've seen big swords,
Yep.
but have we seen a big sword stuffed into a 400-pound bronze dragon? I think not.
No, we have not. Sitting on a big old beanbag.
That is a really niche market.
It
yeah.
sure is, yeah.
You had to have that one dude.
Mm-hmm.
And 400 spare pounds of bronze.
No shit, man.
Sean, did you find any info as to whether he sculpted the dragon as well, or who made the dragon part?
And from what I can tell, he's got really no info on this on his website that I could find in the time I was on. It seems like everything he does is sole authorship.
It makes me wonder if he made the sword and then somebody, like a customer, had this done or something. I like the idea that he did it himself, but I don't know.
I feel like this had to be a custom order, like,
Yeah.
some commission crazy piece.
Yeah, Dragon Slayer kind of setup.
Yeah.
Hold on just a second.
400-pound bronze dragon. I think it's really interesting too, Tom, the way so this thing has, like Sean said, I think 2 snake-looking features that wrap around the handle to kind of form the forward part of the grip.
Yeah, that's
And
really
then-
clean.
Yeah, really clean. And then come out and act like a sort of a C-shaped guard. But then there's also sort of an Iron Cross looking interior guard that's flat.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. I got the rundown on this. I found some.
Oh,
This piece was made to honor Dr. Stephen Rosenberg, MD, PhD, head of oncology at the National Institutes of Health. It was commissioned by Tom Clancy, world-renowned author and philanthropist. It represents slaying of the black dragon of cancer to honor Dr. Rosenberg's work in pediatric oncology. Hundreds of hours were invested in this piece. The sword and dragon sculpture are my own work. The casting of the lost wax sculpture in bronze was performed at Mesa Bronze Foundry in Center Point, Texas. The bronze was cast before I had an on-site foundry, as I do now. The dragon weighs 400 pounds and has a 58-inch wingspan. I carved the claws and feet large to represent the filaments of a cancer cell reaching into other cells. The eyes are made of aventurine and blue tiger eye quartz. The sword represents the medical caduceus and has a 56-inch blade of hardened and tempered 440C high chromium stainless tool steel, double hollow ground and mirror finished. The guard is hand-carved 304 stainless steel, 25% chromium and 8% nickel, mirror finished and hot formed into spiral snakes that wrap around the handle core. The snake's tongues are forked and wrap around the sword's cutting edge. The snake's eyes are solid Australian opals, representing the manifestation of life. The core is banded red jasper and hematite, chosen to represent tissue. The pommel is stainless steel with silver bezels embracing a solid polished gem of blue obsidian into which is engraved the medical caduceus.
wow.
Now we know where the snakes came from.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's super cool.
That is, commissioned by Tom Clancy nonetheless.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah. So
That's pretty cool.
it's got cancer kill box vibes like Derek Obataki with this thing, right? Like it's got a specific purpose. I like that.
Here, let me send you guys a link to this so you can, there's more pictures than what I saw.
I'm pretty sure I'm looking at the second picture. You can see engraving that says Slayer of Dragons on the blade, and then maybe a signature. Maybe the maker signed it. That's really, really cool. I like it that it has a meaning, like a real meaning, right? That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, super thematic.
So, did this thing just like sit in the cancer ward? I mean, where was this for the doctor, or where would this piece sit, you think?
Man, it sounds like he had it made just for the doctor. On the page I just sent the link to, there's a picture of the maker with Tom Clancy.
Yeah, that really puts it in perspective, because I could have swore that was like a miniature little dagger when you first sent that, just judging by the look of the dragon, the size of the dragon.
Yeah, that's a massive sword. And that's like a 2.5-handed handle.
Yeah, when you see the picture with the guys, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
All right.
the picture is with Tom Clancy.
Right. 56-inch blade. That's, you wonder, right? Like, where would you put that in your house, Michael? You'd have to, I mean, if you had a bunch of space, I guess you could find a spot for something like that.
In the foyer, Mark.
In the foyer. Across from the water fountain, whatever you call it, the water feature in the foyer, Sean?
Yeah.
How do you tell a spouse that
Like I'm a Philistine.
I'm going to put this somewhere pretty cool?
I'll tell you how. You say, listen here, honey. Here's what we're going to do.
No, it's easy. You're like, Tom Clancy got this for me.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I don't want to drop names, being Tom Clancy. I mean,
Dude, what if this was the world's best white elephant gift?
Wow. Yeah, right. That's
I knew his
crazy.
wife was scared of dragons or something.
Right. That'll show her. Dragon Slayer. I love it.
I feel like I
Wow.
did not prepare adequately.
Yeah, Sean put a shot across the bow, didn't he?
Damn. Thanks, Sean.
Oh, just wait until this second.
Oh, yeah.
You ain't seen no shit like this enough I found. I don't even know what to make of it, and I couldn't find shit on it. I've got one picture.
Yeah, no
Good
kidding.
Lord.
And
Glad
when I
I'm
click
going
the
after
picture-
Sean.
When I clicked the picture from Google Images, the Russian site tried to give my computer space aids. It was
Oh, hate when that happens.
But I've got the picture to share with all you fine folks.
There you go. You took one on the chin and did it anyway. What a cool piece, man. Slayer of Dragons. I like it.
Well, I guess I'll go next.
All right, Michael, where would you like to take us on your journey?
Well, in honor of Dune,
Nice.
I went with
hell
a little bit of a Kindle, but it's not a Russian Kindle like used in the Dune, more sweepy. It's more of your traditional Kindle that has a kind of a Roman look to it. But this one was made by Chris Reeve. It's whale ivory, ebony, sterling silver, and Damascus with copper plated and all. It is a very, very funky piece to have Chris Reeve make. And I tried Googling this, and I couldn't find anything on it. Nothing on this. I assume it's probably, I don't know, what do you guys think, like a 10-inch blade?
Probably.
Gotta be
Double
bigger than that.
edge, 10, it's hard to tell. Gorgeous piece. Unexpected from them, but or from him.
The way those
Very
handles
cool.
are, that's probably a pretty decent sized handle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could
Because
be.
your handle fits in the middle part. So I'm guessing that's at least a 12, 14-inch blade, maybe.
Yeah, let's go with that.
It looks cool, right? Wow.
Yeah, it's super cool.
I wish,
and this was from
I
the
wish these were in
80s.
color.
Yeah, me too. Early
I wanna see
80s. I
what
think
that
80.
selective copper plating is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so Damascus blade, selective copper plating, whale ivory, ebony, and sterling silver. I bet that's pretty stunning in color.
Yeah, oh, I bet so. It's got to be shoved away in a collection somewhere deep, deep in the recesses.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say too. It's a bunch of these pieces, right? It's like you got to wonder, where the heck are they? That would be kind of interesting. If you had
Well,
like,
you'd think this would have popped up on a Blade forums or something somewhere, but Google's like, no.
yeah. Well, if
So,
if something's going to pop up, the Slayer of Dragons should have popped up. That's a piece that pops up.
That's in somebody's house, man.
Right? Yeah, maybe so.
Mhm.
Dude, yeah, you've got to have a liftgate truck to ship the damn thing.
Right.
No joke.
Yep. You need like a brick.
Take it to a zoo. Kids can climb on it like all the animals there.
Oh, look, he fell in half.
And you need like a bread van and a forklift. Honey, I just got home from Blade Show. I'm going to fire up the forklift. I'll be inside in a minute. Open the door. Wow, that's a cool piece, Michael.
Yeah.
For some reason it looks familiar, but maybe it's just the style that makes it look familiar, right? The traditional look of a Kindle.
It's one of those that you look over and over until you see the name by it. You're like, oh, shit.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
What do you got, Tom? What are you going to bring to the table?
Ooh, before we switch, which book is it in and what page, Michael? Do you remember?
This was the first one I found, and before I started keeping the book and the date, but I will find it real fast for you
Oh,
while Tom's showing his.
this,
Okay.
before written records existed kind of thing. I got it.
So I went a different way a little bit, obviously. I went obscure and I kind of stayed in the stuff that I like. Not saying I don't like the fancier stuff. I obviously do. That's something I can't afford either. So,
Oh, you don't like the sword that killed cancer. I see. Go ahead.
no, I like it.
You like cancer? Really?
Yeah.
I'll see you guys later.
I mean, this might be the first time anyone's ever been canceled on Mark of the Maker live.
Wow, Tom.
shit.
Just wow.
Yeah, please don't cancel Cried Knives, okay? He's our friend.
At least I didn't let anybody down.
He didn't mean to say I love cancer.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So anyways, I went with something kind of crazy and something I saw a while back, and I wanted to buy it, but at the time I just couldn't swing it. But we're all familiar with Robert Parrish. His survival knives are really cool. I really like hollow-handled knives, and I didn't even know this existed, but it's a Robert Parrish prototype survival hatchet. Are you guys aware of that?
No.
No. Holy hell.
And it was only $750. I just
What?
couldn't swing it at the time, and when I went back, it was gone. And they actually had two of them.
Really?
What?
Yeah, it only shows one now, but there was two on the site, and I kick myself for not getting that. I wanted it for the collection, and I was like trying to be good, and yeah, it's gone.
Man, if he treated that 440C like he did his blades, though.
No, you wouldn't ever want to chop anything with this.
Yeah.
His knives had a tendency to snap.
Get chippy on you.
Yeah, so I would love to have this piece in the collection. I would never chop anything with it. But I could use it for inspiration. I think it could be kind of cool. I definitely wouldn't use 440C, but...
Why don't you give the kids at home that are listening, Tom, the visual rundown of what we're looking at?
So if you're familiar with Robert Parrish's work, his hollow handle survival knives were really clean, pretty basic. You know, the knurled steel round handle like on a Randall survival knife. The guards on his knives were mostly flat oval, and on this axe it's kind of round. So the handle's round, and then it just comes up and it's a small hatchet blade. It's not even a really big hatchet blade or anything, but it's just, to me, it's super cool, and the handle looks like it's even longer than normal, so you could really pack away some stuff in there. Just a really cool concept. Like I said, I wouldn't personally chop anything with this, but it would definitely be a collector piece.
Yeah.
A piece I would love to add to my collection, and I love his work. He did all sorts of hollow handle survival knives, from like the spear point, or not spear point, like the almost recurve drop point Germanish survival knife style, to the clip points and bowies and all sorts of stuff. Big fan of his work. And yeah, I wish I could have added this to my collection, but alas, I could not.
When was it up on Nordic, Tom?
Last year.
Really?
Yeah.
And you didn't tell your bros?
I was trying to buy it.
Yeah, come on, man.
I know how you are, Mark.
Yeah, right.
Go and buy it right out from underneath me.
Oh, you son of a biscuit.
It says on there it was made in 1988. So that is almost exactly the time that I was like getting into this. And I can remember the first magazine I got from the White Oak Station in Siloam Springs. And it had the hollow handled knives, and it had some Parishes in there, and some, Lyle Rambo knives, all that stuff. And that's what hooked me on this whole thing.
According to my calculations, that's 36 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Train.
Train's here.
So it's described as having a integral glass beaded steel haft. Okay. For some reason, the first time I read it, it was an integral handle. I'm like, what? Really? But I got it.
I have no idea what you said.
Train was too loud.
Train was in the office with me here for a little while. But yeah,
I misread it the first time. I thought it said that it had an integral glass beaded steel handle, but it wasn't a handle, it was haft.
Yeah. No, that would be cool. That'd be like a Reeves.
Yeah, right.
And if you did that, you could leave a little meat on the handle there and like sand it down a little bit or machine it down so it was a little thicker. But yeah. Cool piece.
It is a cool piece. I think that guard is oval. Based on the shadows, right? It's not round.
Looks like
exactly like the handle. That's cool. Huh. Very nice. Interesting pick, Tom.
Thanks.
I like it. All right. Anybody have backup fixed blade picks?
Everybody
I do.
does.
Everybody does.
Sean already gave all his.
Yeah.
basically.
Sean took us on the tour. All right, Michael, go ahead with your backup fixed blade.
Well, you tricked me. I was looking at the books, looking for the Chris Reeves stuff. So the backup is a kind of a funky Billy Mace ML Big Bear integral subhilt doodad, and I really dug it. I don't know if we've talked about it or seen it, but it is his real deep dish grinds. It's just like a very extra, a lot of depth type of Big Bear, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. So it comes out to be a 1 pound fighter. Because he started with a 3/4 by 3 by 13.5 inch and 8.5 inch bar of 440C.
8.5 pounds.
Yeah, 8.5 pound
8.5
bar.
pound bar, sorry.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's a big freaking bar.
Yeah, but look how badass that thing is.
Yeah. Wow.
I'd like to see those grinds from another angle because I bet they're just sexy as all get out.
They look like they're done on a really small wheel.
Yeah, for real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like that center line looks like it's a ridge.
Hell yeah, you get skateboard off those things.
Right.
That's what I was thinking.
Half pipe blade.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, that's really cool.
So for the kids listening at home or a kid listening at home, this is like, the grinds roll right. Like the plunge makes the forward part of the guard.
Mm-hmm. Makes a diamond because they come up so high.
Yeah, that's super cool.
A little bit that's just for you.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say when you said sort of a big bearish, I'm like, oh, that guy.
Hold on.
Yeah, very cool, man. I like that. It looks like it must be some kind of bone or mammoth or something.
Who knows?
It's hard to tell from the old black and white
Black and
pictures,
white.
unfortunately. Yeah.
Yeah.
What a cool piece, though, man. Integral hilt,
Yeah.
sub-hilt, and pommel. So
Yeah.
all that's out of a solid chunk of 440C.
And that one came from Knives 81.
Knives 81. I like it. All right. I had a backup pick for fixed blade. Let me get my picture ready here. This is not an obscure maker. I know you guys are going to say, oh, yeah. This is a fixed blade by Mr. Norman Levine.
Ooh.
Kind of a throwback name, I think. Mr. Norman Levine. And this is called the Norman Levine Twisted Dagger. I thought this was fascinating. It definitely rung the obscure bell for me when I saw this picture. I'm like, what in the heck is going on with this thing? And it's a dagger with, what do you call that kind of guard that has the balls on the end? What's the name for that? I've heard a special name. I just can't think of what it is.
No, there is a name for it, and I'm drawing a huge blank now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this looks like a really beautifully finished dagger with twisted, I guess, wires or rods that go out to ball-shaped guard. And the handle is mammoth ivory and turquoise. So it's got to be pretty in person. And the guard and pommel are sterling silver. But the blade is twisted 180 degrees right in the middle, which is kind of crazy. And interestingly, I'm like, boy, I would love to see a better picture of this. Because it's like, is it off center and twisted in the middle? I think it's an artifact of the photo and the way it's lit that it looks that way. But yeah, such a funky looking piece, like a dagger twisted in the center. So, oh, Jesus, I never sent you the picture. My apologies.
I was thinking I'd like to see a picture of it.
Oh,
too.
yeah, that sounds wonderful. See, now
You're
feeling
painting a great picture, though.
now you're feeling the pain our listener feels.
I know.
Oh, yes.
Is that a Quillen? A Quillen guard?
That was my thought.
Yeah.
But I think that's maybe a style of dagger. I don't know.
Yeah, but is it that style of dagger because of the guard?
Right. I don't know.
Maybe. So how would you so obviously heat was involved to twist this.
Mm-hmm.
How do you polish that out afterwards?
Yeah.
Little tiny sanding things on a Fordham, probably.
Yeah. Nope. All great questions, Tom.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible.
Yeah. Tom's over there like, how does the sheath work? I don't understand.
Kind of kydex you use for that?
Yeah, exactly. We twist it in there or something?
You market it on the wound channel it creates.
Oh, yeah, exactly. There you go. You got to do the...
Cannot be stitched.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
That's the most retarded thing ever. There's nothing that can't be stitched.
I knew he would go off. I knew it. As soon as I saw the twisted dagger, I'm like, yep, that's my pick as backup. And then I'm like, oh, shit. Here we go with Tom.
Now, you know good and well, when he showed that, or wherever at whatever show he took that to, there's some people that are like, well, the temper's probably screwed up now.
Right.
Christ.
Yeah.
What are you going to do with it?
Right.
The edge ain't, it's rippled.
It just sucks.
Yeah. I thought it was fascinating. It fits solidly in the obscure camp.
It's cool as hell.
Yeah. So,
Art.
Mr. Norman Levine, the only real info I could find, he had stuff on Arizona. There was a little write-up in there. He began making knives in 1944. And it sounds like he kind of did it as a hobby until he went full-time pro guy in the 70s. And then he passed in 1995. He was a longtime guild member.
It makes me think of, and not even close, but just the way the blade's twisted. Who's the slip joint maker that makes it like the handle's curved like a C?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Someone brought one a couple blades
USN.
ago or something.
Yeah,
Or
it brought it to
USN.
USN, I think.
And I just looked at it and stared at it and was like, good God.
Right?
It was
Yeah.
so damn cool.
It's so cool, but you're like, why? I mean, just because, I guess, but
Because makers were sitting there staring at it going, how and what?
yeah.
Wasn't it Tyler that had it? Maybe I'm mixing up
Maybe.
people.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Somebody
but
we know had that knife that was like curved.
it was crazy.
Yeah, that's a neat piece too. I didn't see any of those looking through here.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I don't know who made that curved slip joint, but that I agree. It would almost look like some kind of weird pruning blade, like it had a very weird purpose, or it was kind of like the twisted dagger. Just
I don't
because
think
you
it had
can.
any purpose. I think it was just because you can.
Oh, come on, Tom. Maybe it also provides an unstitchable wound. Okay, ever heard of it?
Probably. That's probably it, Mark.
You don't want wounds that get stitched either, huh?
Right. First the love of cancer, now the unstitchable wounds.
Mm-hmm.
Good Lord.
We're gonna get him canceled for real, and we're just fucking around.
Yeah.
So there you go. Norman Levine, Twisted Dagger. That was my backup. Who else has a backup? Anybody?
Me.
What,
I got
Sean
one.
and or Tom and Michael? Go for it. Go for it.
Okay, so mine is also a very well-known maker, and basically it's a Steve Johnson piece, but everybody thinks of, like, when you think of the Loveless shoot knife, you obviously think of Loveless, and everybody makes them kind of the same except for Steve. And I personally think Steve's are better, and don't get me wrong, I love the Loveless shoot knife. But this is Steve Johnson's shoot knife, and it's ground all the way back, so the grind lines end at the same place. So it's like a clip point dagger blade almost. And this one has stag, and it just seems like Steve's more well known for his like hunting knives, Loveless style, and like the city knives, and maybe some of the other fighters, but I feel like this is one that he doesn't do a lot of, and it's probably one of my favorite pieces of his.
That top grind going all the way to the back and matching really changes the whole aesthetic.
It's totally
Oh,
different,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
100%.
Really, really, I like it.
Oh, I dig the shit out of that.
It reminds me of like the bigger fighters, but it's still obviously a shoot knife.
Yeah. Now, it's easy for me to say because I've never once attempted to do any sort of Big Berry type of dual grind, but man, sometimes you'll see him jack up that curve towards the tip. It's a little too low, a little funky, but man, that's clean.
Yeah, and this has some really nice stag on it. I find this to be a very pleasing knife.
Did you put it in your checkout?
Yeah, Tom.
Already sold.
It's been sold for a while.
Oh, he looked at this for months and thought about it.
I'm pretty much sold on what I can spend tonight.
He tapped out.
Yeah.
No Steve Johnson in your future?
I bet it wasn't $750.
No.
No, it wasn't. I can tell you how much it was. Hold on. $21.95.
Wow. That's actually not that bad for a very unique piece.
And worth every penny, yeah.
Yeah.
Steve Johnson is a very underrated maker by the current knife crowd, in my opinion.
Yeah, I was about to
His
say,
work
underrated
is so
by-
classic and clean, and
Yeah. Cornerstone guy to the previous generation of knife collectors, but
For sure.
yeah.
but maybe not super well known by newer guys. That's a cool piece. I don't think I've seen that before, or at least if I saw a picture of one, I would not have thought shoot knife necessarily, right? Like, oh, that's weird.
You mean obscure?
Obscure,
Yeah.
not weird.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Archer shoot knife. I wonder why it's called the Archer shoot knife.
Probably someone's name, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Listen, Steve, here's what I want you to do. I want you to make me a shoot knife, but don't make a shoot knife. Give me the guard off a shoot knife, and then give me the blade off a New York Special, and then make it shorter and widely proportioned.
It's actually bigger than a New York Special.
Yeah. It's
They're
just got
pretty
that
small.
shape like the blade, kind of like
Yeah.
a New York Special.
Very cool. What you got, Michael?
Last little kind of funky one was a Mark Carlson, sort of geometric fixed blades. He does these. This was from Knives Annual 91. This one has two. The top one is kind of a push dagger type of look. A lot of triangle, sharp angles, kind of a sailboat look, and has pins holding the blade. Both of these have pins holding the blade. It's kind of hard to explain. They're just basically a grind, a kind of a shard of a blade attached by pins to the handle, but it fits well. The space is used well. They're just very artistic, cool looking blades.
Feels very modern.
Yeah, very modern. And I found a little site or a little thing. Copy link. It really didn't have much about him, but I'll send that your all's way. Let's see here. I'm trying to be fast about it. But so, have a blade in alloyed tool steel that's been ground to shape, so-called stock, blah, blah, blah. Made from aluminum, anodized in yellow and blue colors. Very cool. A Danish maker.
I was just going to say, well, I was trying to look them up. Danish maker makes sense. It's got super
100%.
super kind of funky, clean aesthetic, right?
Yeah. Somehow mid-century modern in a way.
Right.
They don't know how to explain that.
Yeah. How do you even describe this knife?
I tried. I didn't do a very good job, but that's why we have to be part of Facebook.
Right.
Gatekeeping these pictures.
right.
Putting them behind a paywall.
Such an interesting piece. There's
They're really cool.
they are really cool. There's a couple guys in recent history that have played with the same thing, right? Where the blade stands off on pins like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So this thing has almost like a, I don't know what you'd call that. It's shaped like an eye, almost the handle, like a squinted eye.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's sort of almost like a triangle shaped blade with pins that kind of hang it out in space.
But also fit in.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know that, Van Barnett was doing a lot with the folders. And then wasn't there a modern guy that was doing it for a little bit?
Yeah.
Like a kind of tactically guy, but I had no idea what happened there. Yeah, I don't know.
There's a bunch of years ago, I went to this. What this reminds me of, I went to like the SEMA show for car stuff, where it's like a trade show, or like the SHOT Show, I guess, right? So it's like the SHOT Show, but for guitar stuff, guitars, amps, all kinds of musical instruments, pianos, basses, you name it. And there's a guy named Ulrich Teufel, and I saw pictures of one of his guitars in a magazine, and I'd never seen one in person. I'm like, that is the wildest looking thing ever. And that's what this kind of reminds me of. I just sent you a link to a picture. A Teufel Birdfish, it's called. And it's like a deconstructed guitar. It's like a guitar if you stripped all the unnecessary shit away.
Yeah.
Like the pickups hang on a spine that runs down the center. There's like a little sculpted, organic looking leg that sticks out to rest it on your knee if you're sitting down.
Yeah.
And then like a pod, a very organic shaped pod that comes off the bridge with these crazy looking control knobs. And I got to play one of these in person at the NAMM show, and I was like, this is super cool, right? It's kind of like those knives, right? They look strange shape, but I bet if you held one, it totally fits in your hand and makes sense.
Yeah. It's like it would be in the Fifth Element or something.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and if you said that name and he made something weird, I'd be like, yeah, that fits.
Uli Teufel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He makes really funky, cool stuff. Oh, yeah. Yeah. 100%.
Obviously.
Be disappointed if he didn't.
Yeah. Interesting pick, Michael. I've never heard of that guy, actually. Mark Carlson.
Yeah. Very cool stuff.
Had you heard of him before you found it?
I don't know. I've seen him. I don't know if I talked to someone else about him, but I know at some point someone and I have had a conversation about it.
Right.
But no idea who.
Very cool. All right. Are we done with Fixed Blade or are we still backing up?
I think I'm done.
Man, we're almost an hour in. We got to keep going.
Talk to them, Sean.
Yeah, we're going to run out of stuff.
Putting on a show.
Sweet.
All right. So where are we at here? We're doing folder, right?
Yep.
Folder. What's my folder number one? My folder number one. What?
Number one.
Number one. Yeah.
Same here. Went down a little rabbit hole with folders.
Yeah, right. I mean, there's a ton of cool looking folders. Actually, I had more fun picking Fixed Blade, and I had way more fun picking Dealer's Choice, but there was no lack of folders to go pick. So I picked this one. It is in, it's funny, that picture that I sent earlier that I thought I sent to you guys and it didn't. I sent it to Amy in a text message because I had the text window open. So she's finishing up her exercise class right now going, what the fuck is that supposed to be? Why'd you send me a weird looking knife?
She's like, lame.
Yeah, right. Who the hell twists the deck? How do you put a sheath on that? If I get a message that says, how do you put a sheath on that? I'm going to flip.
Prison sheath.
Oh, God. All right. This is called the Folding Boot Knife by Gary Barnes. It's a boot knife that has another blade that folds out, and it also has a very ornate and small knife and fork that it look like they go into the handle in a sort of a who's that guy, Michael, that has the Luckett?
Kios.
Oh yeah, okay.
Kios.
Yep. Almost in like a little insert in the handle. So there's a knife and fork in case you need to eat, right, with your hyper classy boot knife. And there's a pair of scissors, Birch approved, zip tie snip-in scissors.
Nice.
And very classic old school stuff where it looks like there's a little shell release, it must be, for the tools in the back. And I couldn't tell, although it looks like it, I couldn't tell if the main blade folds back in as well.
I can't tell either. I don't think it does, actually.
It's kind of weird.
I don't think it does.
It's offset from that center pin, which made me think it was just, like a fixed boot knife. But yeah, super ornate, heavily engraved. Yeah, the description in Knives 83 was pretty solid. This folding boot knife by Gary Barnes offers 2 blades, knife, fork, scissors, and space for a couple tools. So apparently there's room to pack in there. Apart from its technical versatility, this knife has to be recognized as a work of imagination. I have to agree.
Sometimes, when you're writing copy, some of those last ones get, you run out of words. How big is this knife, do you think? Or are those just tiny little fork and...
I don't know. There wasn't any info I could find on the size. It just had the picture and that description.
Because the little inset fork and little knife are about 3/4 the length of the handle itself.
Right. They're teeny.
I do love the very, I don't know why, but very ram's horn looking guard. And they may be shells. I don't know. But in my head, they look like curled ram's horns.
Oh, yeah. That's a good description. And, I thought it was a photo artifact at first. But it looks like the way the scissors store is that they collapse into the cutting position and then they kind of go into a piece that cams out from the pivot. See how you can see like the butt end of the scissor handle? Mm-hmm. It looks like it kind of goes on either side of that little pin. And then that whole thing swings up and locks in.
Yeah. Funky.
There you go. Obscure.
Or the whole thing kind of fits underneath that when it's closed, and then the spring tension holds it against it.
Maybe so.
Either way, I'd be losing that.
What, the scissors? Anything that was in there?
So probably. I wonder when this was made, because, he was a master smith, and back in the 90s, he kind of stopped making knives. and he switched to air guns. He was building some of the craziest air guns. So I was hardcore into air guns like in the late 90s through 2000 or so.
Yep.
And he was building like pneumatic air guns that were like 50 caliber, and they were totally built like out of his mind. Like he was making the locks and everything, and it was kind of crazy stuff, like really cool.
Yeah. Clearly a very technically capable guy, right?
Yeah, crazy skilled. Like he basically got tired of making knives. He just got kind of bored and started making air guns. And he was doing pre-charge stuff before there was a lot of pre-charge stuff out there.
Right. Oh gosh, yeah, super ornate stuff.
Yeah, and that's all
just
like
send us a link.
just made. Like that's probably a 50 cal that you could actually like kill a buffalo with or something.
Right. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Right. So he makes some more modern looking stuff, which most people
hold off on that. Let's not get too crazy on Gary Barnes now.
I was just gonna say on air guns.
Okay.
He makes some what I think anybody who's close to air guns thinks of as trick air guns, where they're like Olympic rimfire style, right?
Yeah.
But he also makes some super traditional looking stuff. That's really, really cool.
And like fantasy type stuff.
Yeah.
Almost. But yeah, pretty interesting.
I like his huge disclaimer.
Cool guy.
There are no firearms shown on this site.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. We won't touch Gary Barnes, Michael.
Excellent.
All right. So who's up next? Sean with a folder?
That would be me. And once again, we're going to kind of
a journey
edge into this, but it won't take as long. So I'm going to send 3 pictures to illustrate this gentleman's usual au revoir. And we're dealing with a fella by the name of Jack Levin, I'm guessing. It's spelled Levin. How would you guys pronounce that?
Yeah,
Levin?
that's right.
Yep.
I believe that's correct.
Yeah, I think he's originally from Latvia, lives in New York, or lived in New York. I couldn't find the information if he's still around. But very interesting folder maker.
Good God.
Yeah, does a lot of his own patented mechanisms. Like on the autos, the lever's on the one side, and then you have a guard that lays down on the other. And when you pop the lever to release the blade, that guard pops up too.
Oh, yeah, that's really cool. You can see the pin sticking out with the little shoulder on it.
Yeah, the little retainer pin.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And the majority of his knives are of integral construction. He likes slim, kind of slabby, flat knives.
I had one back in the day.
What?
Yeah. I sold it to Dudley.
Wow.
One of these or?
No, not one of those, but one of his autos. It was like
it the auto that kind of a double action?
Well, it wouldn't open it. So it popped it open part way. It was like a California auto or something.
Yeah.
And then you opened it the rest of the way, and it didn't have a lock. It was some kind of weird friction. It was a cool piece.
Like where it cammed over when it came out, or just friction or something? Yeah.
Yeah, it just like popped. Like it wasn't like a slip joint. There was no spring, but yeah, it basically, if you pushed hard enough on it, it would close, and then you'd close it on the spring. Bob Dozier got it for me at the New York show one year.
Wow.
And then Dudley talked me out of it.
Yeah.
Had Stingray on the sides, inlays, and it was a cool piece.
These are extraordinarily detailed, Sean. You should try to pick one and see if you
try to explain that.
Okay, I'll take the middle pictured one because I thought that it was interesting. These Damascus blades with carving, engraving, and gold inlay. The handles are from a single piece. So I'm guessing that's stainless. If I had to wager on it,
probably, man.
Then once again, fully engraved, gold inlay. They're all autos. You have kind of a lever style auto release on one side, and then the other side has a large stylized kind of ring guard that pops up when you release the blade. And now on the one I'm talking about here, at the butt on each side, there is a carved porcelain inlay.
Yeah. Oh, they're so
And
cool.
when you look at that spine shot, it's crazy how thin it is. And is it integral?
Yeah. A lot of his stuff was integral like that from my readings, especially on the fancy shit like this.
Damn.
Yeah. And this is a collaborative effort. I think there was another maker who did the porcelain carving work on those porcelain inlays, and then an engraver inlayer who did the engraving and gold inlaying.
And it looks like under the lever release, there's another little dagger. I don't know if it's screwed in place or if it's carved in place or what.
Man, I'm betting that has something to do with the mechanism.
It's pretty cool, right?
Oh,
Yeah, wicked cool.
when you push down on the lever, it takes that dagger and cams it over, and cams it into the blade, and that allows it to release something maybe.
I don't know. If you look at the spine shot, it's actually proud of the handle a decent amount.
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah.
Maybe that's the release.
I would love to know the story on the porcelain inlays. One side is a Medusa. The other side is like a narwhal with a crown above it.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is a narwhal.
Yeah.
I bet that dagger is the release, and then you use the other thing to close it.
To reset?
Possibly.
Because there's a screw in the middle, so it might pivot right there, and see where it's proud on the spine shot?
Yeah.
I bet that's the release.
Be pretty hard to not open that thing when you pick it up, if that's the case. But maybe so.
If it's tight.
And once again, I'll be sharing these pictures because you guys really have to see them. And well, if you guys look at the other one that has the porcelain inlays.
That's a narwhal also.
Yeah, a narwhal with a crown on the one side and then a very Roman kind of head on the other. Or would that be Greek maybe?
Yeah, it looks like a Spartan.
Okay.
Yeah.
All three of them have that dagger.
Oh, yeah. That is interesting. It almost looks like they're a set. At least the inlaid ones, maybe. Huh.
Those two with the porcelain, you would think at least.
Yeah.
Stunning.
I would love to know the story behind the narwhal with the crown.
You and me both.
Now listen, Jack, here's what I need. I need a super fancified auto, and I need a narwhal in the handle. I'm going to place an over-under bet on whether someday somebody calls Sean and asks him for a narwhal handle.
Yeah, man, there's stranger things have happened.
You never know,
I can
right?
go ahead and tell you that answer they're going to get, though.
I can think of a certain few things that might convince you to do it, but okay, I'm with you.
Yeah, it'd take quite a few things.
Solid barter system could happen.
No, yeah, I mean, I do have my weaknesses when it comes to bartering.
Right.
But anywho,
very cool.
I showed you that isn't my pick.
That's just the first stop on the journey. That's not the obscure.
Yeah, no shit. That is not the obscure.
Holy Lord.
Damn.
All right. I showed you those, which are exquisite.
Wow.
So I could show you this. And this is a folding knife that looks like a crossbow.
Yeah.
And now, dude, I tried to rabbit hole this. All I could find was this fucking photo, and I don't know what's going on. And I'm confused and aroused.
I think that is a real crossbow.
It looks like it's got a slot for the bolt.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, so many questions and so few answers.
I mean, it's got a mechanism.
Have we come across this before?
Have we?
I don't think I've seen it. Interesting.
I'm pretty sure that's a real crossbow.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't have a size reference. Guys, what we're dealing with here is...
Listen, guys.
It's a fully engraved crossbow with what looks to be... Maybe it's more porcelain work. Maybe it's more carved... Maybe it's some carved ivory. I don't know. Fully engraved, gold inlaid, a blade on the front.
Yeah, but like a very early European crossbow for when you got to stab someone close and stab someone over there.
Right. It's like a bayonet.
Yeah.
I was wondering if the bayonet piece like flipped out somehow, but maybe that's supposed to be a sight on that sticks up above the base of the blade.
I don't know.
It's like a
That
little
little pommel thing.
triangle looking thing that sticks up right before it hits the main part of the handle.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
You'd think the bolt would be, somewhere in the picture, but maybe not. I don't know.
I think
That's just the release.
Yeah.
is that
Never mind.
little ivory nub off the back of that.
Right. That's right. You said it that way. Or you think that's the release, Tom, the ivory?
I think that's the release. You would
Yeah.
cock it back and the string would go into the front metal part. See how it's got like
Okay. Yep.
a hinged area?
Right.
So that would go forward to hook over, and then you'd use your brace, your like lever or the paw to cock it. And then that ivory nub would be your release, because that's not a gun that like a crossbow that's like a gun. That's like one you hold like a pistol, almost like like a contender almost,
Right.
And that's where your thumb would be on that release.
Wow. And no more pics, huh, Sean? Just this one.
Dude, that's all I could find. And when I clicked on it, it was a bad scene.
Oh, this was the Russian website.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What the heck? You wonder who made it. I actually kind of like that. It's a neat little touch where the engraving section of scroll work actually like has a 3D, like where it looks like the end of the scroll rolled up.
It looks like
That's
Arpod's
cool.
work a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
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 You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah. I think I almost picked
Checkmaker.
those. Yeah. Yeah.
It reminds me of his work for some reason. I don't know that that's who it is, but that's the feeling I get with the carving. And
Definitely all feels like it's European. Well, we'll share the pic someone might know.
Yeah. Yeah. Stranger things have certainly happened.
We have some very astute listeners who might be able to name that maker and maybe even have a story.
very cool.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. So we're midway on our journey. And you've certainly dialed up the obscure in the folder category, Sean.
Thank you.
No shit. So is it my turn yet, or has he got some more? Or?
I don't know.
No,
I thought
I'm
that was
done.
midway. Oh,
I'm done. I'm out on the folder.
only 2 stops on the folder journey. Well, 4 stops if you count them all. Whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, all you, Birch.
Okay, so speaking of Gary Barnes, this is kind of weird. This was my first pick. And once again, I could not find anything more on it. This is from Knives Annual 84. This is almost a stopwatch based folding knife. It's got a hinged handle that opens up, and when it closes, it winds the blade. It winds the mechanism up. So imagine kind of a drop point blade, but the blade isn't really the main story here. But inside, you kind of open up like a violin case, and there's kind of a highly engraved watch mechanism. Looks like a spring at the bottom, like a mainspring in a watch.
Yeah.
That unwinds and opens the blade. And when you close the blade, it winds back up.
Isn't that crazy?
So it's gotta rotate around that mainspring at the bottom.
Wonder what the
It
deployment time
just-
is on that.
Right.
I don't know.
Was that a
Super
watch
wild,
joke?
Tricky,
though.
though.
What's that?
Was that a watch joke? The
Yep.
deployment time.
Yeah.
But I saw that and I was like, I gotta include that. And then I looked and I Googled everything I could, nothing. I was like, someone has that picture of this thing. It belongs in a museum. But once again,
A lot of his stuff was pretty like detailed mechanism like that.
very much. I found probably the least wild knife of his I found on Knife Purveyor. And they called it a liner lock, and let me send that right over to you guys. And it has to be a left-handed liner lock, because the lock is almost attached to the outside of the handle. It is attached to the outside of the handle, and then there's a cutout in the bolster area for the liner to go into. And then the rest of the handle has this carved wood inlay, funky stuff.
One, it's what's crazy is we take so much for granted today because we have such nice screws and hardware, right?
Yeah.
This is just like the pivot looks like a peened rod, and then it's got some like socket head screws.
Oh, yeah. No,
Hell,
they were, I'm sure it's peen, but I'm sure it's running on some sort of,
bronze
bronze
bushings.
bushings like a lot of those guys were using back then. But look how slim this whole thing is.
Yeah, it's trippy. What a cool idea. I wonder, like, I want to try to look down inside of it, because if you look at the spine shot, it's like the blade there's a layer on the backside. Do you see that? Or maybe that's a reflection. I bet that's a reflection in the photo.
I can't get mine to.
Yeah, not sure. Well, that's a slim dude for being I guess it is a liner lock, but it's kind of a unique, right, with the bolt-in lock. But
Yeah.
the spine picture, that's my first thing I thought is, holy cow, it's slim. I guess that's what happens when you don't put scales on the first half of the knife. But
Mm-hmm.
Is that integral? That's bent over. Those scales are all one piece
And it looks like a piece of wood on the backside.
for the
Snagged in there.
backspacer. That's one piece of material bent, and then they ground down the back, slid a piece in for the backspacer.
And that's why the liner's on the outside.
And I bet that's stainless steel that's bent,
oh,
into a U shape.
yeah,
That's a trippy piece.
that is pretty cool.
Available for $650.
Yeah, no kidding.
Mastersmith knife. That's actually a pretty good piece. Price for that piece, for a piece of history.
Yeah. I wonder how well it works because, the deployment is like halfway down that bar close to the screws.
Definitely an interesting piece.
Yeah. So oddly enough, 2 Gary Barnes. That's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't coordinate this either.
Sure we didn't, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you
Did
guys
either of you guys see this knife I just sent a picture of?
Ooh, look at that
you-
thing.
You
Dude,
found
how
that look, it has to
deco.
be an Owen Wood piece for sure.
Really? 'Cause it came up under the Gary Barnes search. Let me.
I know, but
Really?
he's got that curves. He's got the composite Damascus, the very Art Deco Metropolis look.
I
That's
love that
gotta
Art
be-
Deco on that.
Got to be an Owen Wood piece.
So many pieces of Damascus on that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Disregard, but a cool knife nonetheless.
Who did it?
Dude, it's listed as Gary Barnes under the search I brought up.
Huh.
I'm 99% sure that's who made that. Just judging on the Damascus and the overall
boy.
look.
We taking bets now.
That's super cool.
That is really cool. Like Sean, I was busy searching, and check out this piece on Arizona.
That's a little flipper too.
I saw that one.
I did see that one.
The one on Arizona.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What a cool piece that is, right?
It's a 4-speed.
The 4-speed auto with a keyhole near the butt. There's a screw inside connected to a square block that you can see. Each quarter turn or side of the block is a different speed at which it will open.
Well,
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'd lose the key.
Well, yeah, but man, when people get all excited and be like, look at this new, and like, look at some of the stuff from the past. Just
Yeah.
take us a minute.
Right.
And that's
Fucking cool. And it
look
sold
how
for
it's
what?
look how it's put together.
Yeah. Is it pinned?
It's copper tubing
Yeah.
that's flared and then like peened.
Right. Like beat together like a slip joint. Wow.
That's trippy.
Like a clamshell package.
Right.
Once again, that's the folded over. Look at the spine on that.
Oh yeah.
It's one piece folded
Shit.
over.
Huh.
We've been thinking we've been doing new shit.
Yeah, right.
So who knows when this thing sold? but
Yeah, right.
The price was $495.
Yeah, it claims date added 2/28 of 2023. Original
So
price
within a year,
$995, marked down to $495. Holy moly.
somebody got a hell of a deal.
Yeah.
Shit.
I'm guessing the little jade piece is the release also.
I would assume so. Otherwise,
That's a
it's just
trippy
kinda
ass piece.
Yeah, super cool.
there.
All right. Folders. How about Tom? It looks like you're up for folder, Tom.
So this was also available recently, and I came back to grab it, and it was gone. Also, I'm learning. I have to jump on stuff when I see it.
Really?
Yeah, Mark. I'm learning Mark.
I'm not going to say that I hope it hurt your feelings, but I might have to.
It happens. So this is pretty cool. This is another Mastersmith, PJ Tomies. This is a cool piece. So it's a fixed blade, a la Skagel, and it's got a folder in the handle, folding blade. So I've never really understood these. I wanted to buy this because I want to experience it, because it seems like a really bad idea to me. Like, how do you use this, right?
Because the larger blade is pointing directly at your belly.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Well, I mean, do you use that small blade when it's in the sheath? So what this is, it's a fixed blade hunting knife, about a 4-inch blade, Skinner type. And then it's got a small, maybe 2-inch pin blade that folds out of the handle. Skagel did maybe a dozen like this. I think Dr. Lucy did a couple, and I've seen a few others maybe through the years. But this one's really cool. It's got some really nice jig bone on it. It's all screwed together. So looks well done. I just have never understood how you would use the small blade. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It is cool, though. You should have bought it.
I should have.
Yeah.
Talk about an obscure
sure.
piece, though.
Yeah.
PJ Tomies is a really... he did a lot of really neat work back in the days, and I've got one of his pieces, and I've had it for a long time. I bought it from a blade show probably in 96.
Yeah.
But yeah, big fan of his work, and this is just super clean, and yeah, I like it.
Yeah. It's definitely an interesting one.
Yeah, no kidding. I've been trying to think. Tom, do you remember what was the hatchet with the Providence that we should have bought in New York City? Who made that one?
That was a Kronk, I think, wasn't it?
It wasn't a Kronk. It was
Rick
another old.
No, I thought.
God dang it! It's been, I don't know why, but it popped up in my head the other day, and I was like, "Who was it?" And it was bothering me. And I was like, "Those guys didn't know."
I'm thinking
Rick
Kronk,
Tig?
but I think you bought the throwing knives, the Kronk throwing knives there.
I did buy Kronk throwing knives, but I'm just trying
That's why I was thinking Kronk. It's not a Kronk.
Yeah.
It was a Rick Tig. It was another older crazy maker, and it was great deal on it too.
Yeah, but it had that thing like the why it was made, what the reason
had all
for it
the
was that
paperwork.
came with it. I was like, God dang.
Yeah, that was an older.
Oh, was it a
piece.
Lyle?
No.
No. Shoot.
It was a very popular but kind of more obscure maker that were like,
Dowell?
I think maybe that was it.
I think it was TM Dowell.
Yeah. Thank you. It's been bothering me for a long time.
Yeah. It was really cool.
I'm gonna try to Google that and see if it comes up.
That was Tommy from Blue Ridge had that, I think.
Yeah, I don't remember who it was, but I was like,
I think
God.
that's who it was.
And he was ready to sell, but it was like before the show.
That's the thing I miss about the New York show. They had some really good purveyors there.
Mm-hmm. That was our first quintessential cutlery.
Yeah,
Ugh.
Well, you guys know that.
I do.
The betrayal. That was the betrayal show.
All comes around.
I was betrayed by my bros. That was
I
brutal.
went back to buy that titanium Damascus knife, Michael, and it was sold.
Oh,
I was going to add it to my collection. The Ray, was it Bradbury?
he's a writer.
No, it wasn't. What I'm
like, what the hell? Ray Bradbury
Who's the
knife?
one that
That's
I sent
cool.
you?
That would have been my favorite. It wasn't a Buckner because it was.
It was a Mastersmith.
Yeah. Gotta scroll way up in the group chat for this one.
Michael's going to be trying to fall asleep tonight, and what he's going to see in his head is Ray Bradbury knife. Ray Bradbury knife. What would a Ray Bradbury knife look like?
I want a Ray Bradbury Martian knife.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Exactly. Yeah.
So backups. Who's got them? I know I do.
Oh, look at him. He's jumpy. I'm going to go first because my backup's lame. Not lame. This is really cool, but this might be a retread because I swear we talked about this knife. This is the Paul Fox Steelectric.
Yeah.
Didn't we talk about this in an old, like Oddball Knives episode?
We did. And that's what I referenced when we were talking about the obscure knives. I was like that Paul Fox one we talked about.
Oh, okay. I don't remember hearing the Paul Fox part, but yeah. So this is, for those who may not remember that episode, is a long time ago. So this is years ago at this point, right? That I think that we talked about this. This is, he's got it says it's patented. That'd be interesting. I would love to look that up and see what the patent says.
You should. Yeah.
Patented electric folding knife called the Steelectric. This was the outstanding big folder at the Guild Show. The rectangular fitting with a crown gear is a motor. The handle slots are switch accesses. So you touch the switch and the motor deploys the blade. Did you guys ever see this knife maybe he made more than one. I don't know.
I've never seen it in person, but I would love to.
That'd be cool though.
Yeah. Just to see it work. Right.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like it would be coolest if it just goes slow-mo. Like wee.
It's got to probably have a little high pitched, noise.
Yeah, right.
Coming out.
What a
Hang on a second.
Right. What a great movie scene that would make. You son of a bitch. And then hold on.
Austin Power style.
Exactly. But what an interesting piece. And when I first looked at this, I was I guess it based on the mark, the curved part is the sharp edge. But at first I thought the flat part was the sharp edge.
Oh, like a pacow.
Yeah,
pacow.
Right. But it looks like that actually acts like the little tab so you can close it. Although it says it opens and shuts on the motor, so I don't know.
Well, that was his.
That's the activation switch.
No.
That was his kind of flipper thing.
Yeah, right.
On a ton of his knives.
Yeah, if you look up Paul Fox on Arizona, there's a whole bunch of knives that have that as the flipper, almost like a front flipper.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, it's wild. And some guy was at a show being like, I seen there was a mechanical knife, a robot knife, and then somebody twisted a dagger.
Right.
Knives are done. They're done.
It could have been. These are all from Knives 83. The Mehringer's short sword, the Gary Barnes folding boot knife, and the Paul Fox Steelectric.
Couldn't even hold that Mehringer. Who's that made for? It's done.
Michael's at the diner after the regional knife show having that conversation.
Yeah.
Ain't that some shit?
I heard he just ground it with the grinder. He didn't even forge it either.
So anyway, the Steelectric, it seems like, one of the reasons I swear we talked about this before is I think Bobby Branton chimed in and told us a story about this, or maybe he had seen one before or handled it. But yeah, what a cool piece. Motorized knife.
Yeah, man. I dig that. I think that's just, I don't know. People have been innovating for a long, long time.
Yeah, man.
It looks like it'd be in that Tom Selleck Runaway movie. Like no one saw.
What do you think's inside that? Like a stomper motor or something?
Oh, nice throwback reference.
Yeah. Wow.
Sorry.
Wow. Little foam tires.
Little robot spiders.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It says, rectangular fitting with a crown gear is a motor. Yeah, I don't know.
Trippy.
In my mind, it moves out very slow.
Now, if you had a little thing that you can, you mix him up with Barnes, you can get a multi-speed on there.
Yeah, get a gearbox.
Birch is going to be like, I'm going to convert that thing to LiPo. We're going to speed her up. Re-gear it. Put a little pouch cell battery in there. Bam, you're in business. Slow no more. Yeah, that has to be a watch battery in there.
I would
Right?
think so.
Only way it could be flat like that. Well, we'll find out. Someone remembers the Steel Electric, and I bet someone in our group has fondled it, as they like to say at the knife show.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Other backups.
Sean, you got one?
No backups.
All right. I got a backup.
All right.
I got old Dennis Brooker.
Ooh.
It's a fixed blade and a folding blade. I don't know what you want to call it, but this was from Knives 81, and I've got some other stuff for it. I'm not stalling for time at all here. So what this does,
You're doing a great job at stalling for time, by the way. Well done.
yeah. So it's got two blades,
Whoa.
almost like they're on the same plane. It goes into the sheath, so I guess it kind of technically would be a fixed blade. So when it swings out, you turn the blade around, it pivots on it.
Oh, I remember those.
And it's another blade, and you swing that arm back into the handle. If that makes any sense at all.
That's cool.
A converter
so-
blade.
Yeah, but think of like you have one stick of iron and you ground the blade on each side, and you put a pivot in the middle and just could spin it, either way you wanted. Pull the handle down, do it again. So I went looking for more information on that, and he's got a patent pending on there. And I tried to look that up, and I didn't find anything on that. But of course, our friends at Arizona, they had a different version of a kind of a swing blade of his that came all the way out, kind of like a spider arm. I'm sending that link right now.
Oh, man, I just pulled that up. That's wild.
All right, you already found it?
Yeah. Yeah, how the heck does that work? Oh, I see.
So this one spins. It's only one blade that spins, and then that whole thing goes into it.
Yeah.
Did you send it?
I'm sending it. I thought I sent it, but when I went to paste, it was like, you ain't got nothing to paste, bro.
Swing blade, yeah. Huh.
Yeah. So this guy does a bunch of these funky swing kind of blades. The arm at this one's on almost looks like a slip joint lock arm, just the way it's shaped. So imagine that folding out, kind of like a knife blade folding out, but on the end of that is your blade that pivots on the same axis. But not on the same axis, on a perpendicular axis. So it swings in or out, and then you fold that whole thing out, or inward. And then
Boy, that's hard to explain.
Yeah, it's hard to explain. Once again, you're gonna have to get in our stuff. What I found on eBay though was a pamphlet.
Wow, really?
Yeah, which I really dig.
Huh.
Check this out. So this is a handmade knife catalog brochure.
Oh, yeah.
So it looks like it's, sorry this took so long, delivery running 1 to 2 years. That's written on it. And it's got one of his swing blades on the front. And then it's got a bunch of his different blades, the guarantee, and then kind of a line drawing of some of these blades on the inside. I kind of dig this. I might have to buy that. It's $25.
Yeah, that's really cool. Somebody dug that out of a box from an estate sale or something.
Oh, for sure. So anyway, that's all I can follow him. But obviously a guy that was like thinking outside the box, making some cool shit. Is it the most practical? No. But I mean, if you look at those line drawings, he's got a pretty killer dagger in there.
Boy, his ordering process sounds dangerous. Submit your ideas by mail or phone.
Whew. This was from Knives 81, though.
Yeah, hit me with your ideas. That's a dangerous question. Wow.
I thought that was funky as all get out, and I dug it.
Do you see that wee, teeny, tiny, like carving hatchet looking thing, Tom? In that catalog, it's like the third picture.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, weird. Oh, the prices are all crossed out. I wonder if the prices got crossed out before he sent it out.
I don't know. I don't want it now.
Well, this is a knife purveyor that's selling the catalog. That's interesting. Well, there you go. How cool to be able to find the catalog. Yeah. I'm probably misremembering what it was, but seems like another variation on the funny folder thing, isn't it, Tom? Or am I misremembering what the funny folder was?
It's not a funny folder. The funny folder like trifolds or double folds.
Yeah.
It swings and folds. So this is it. It seems like there was a guy like Leon something. He went by Worm, I think, and it reminds me of some of his kind of stuff a little bit. I think they would be contemporaries.
I don't know. He from Iowa too?
I don't know.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. Any other backups in the folder category? No. All
I
right.
think so.
Here we go. This is the juicy one. Dealer's choice.
Oh yeah.
Based on everything we've seen so far, Sean's taken us to some wild obscurity. That's all I'm saying.
Don't disappoint us.
Wild. I gotta go first. So let me throw you my two of these. Maybe unsurprisingly, for this category, I went to the secret weapon, which is my copy of Blades and Barrels.
Oh, God damn it.
Here's the picture. Check this thing out. It is a 5mm rimfire knife pistol.
God.
I'd never seen something like this. This is total spy novel shit. This is like SAS, CIA tricky shit, I thought.
Yeah.
But check out when it was made. 1895.
They're going to do this and not show us where the barrel comes out?
Well, yeah.
Dick move.
I think there's only one place it can't come out.
I know, but I want to see it.
Yeah. I think the other one I might share later has you can see the barrel, but so okay, so this is like what's that big slip joint pattern called? Elephant's toe or something?
Canoe or elephant.
Yeah,
Yeah, elephant
sunfish.
shows a big wide.
Yeah, this is for a slip joint. This thing's fairly beefy, 4 1/4, so not huge, right? I have a couple of 4-inch slip joints, 4-inch close, but 2 3/4 blade with a 2-inch long barrel. Oh no, I'm sorry. There's two blades. There's a 2 3/4 main blade, a 2-inch pen blade, and then a 3 1/4 barrel in a knife that's only 4 1/4 long.
That's a lot.
Yeah, and it has a gun built into it, right? Combination weapon. So it looks like a kind of an elephant's toe, right? With, ivory or something as the handle or bone, white bone. And in the main body, down the center of the slip joint, I guess between the blades or next to the blades, that's like Michael said, we don't see the front angle, so you don't see down the barrel. But that piece that comes out the back is actually the hammer.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah. So it says slip joint knife with a button release pistol on board. You cock the hammer, and to fire it, you press that button on the side. So like where it would have another pin in the middle of the handle, it's actually a little knurled button.
Yeah, that's put it to the belly and go.
Yeah, right. Made in 1895
Good God.
by a German gunsmith named Franz Ressel, R-E-S-L.
I wonder how, God, I really want to know how wide this thing is or how thick it is.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it could be like 5 inches thick where it's like, oh, look how great and small it is. And
I don't know. It's only a 5mm projectile, right? Which is smaller than a 22. It's like a 20 cal almost. So it's a teeny little guy.
yeah, I don't know. That's cool as hell.
Yeah. Spy novel shit. That's what I really liked about it. Plus, you know what else I liked about it? I know Tom is biting his tongue over there about how stupid this is. What a terrible idea.
No, I think it's cool.
Definitely.
I think it's mechanically awesome.
I'm just mad I don't have the book. I'm too
Do
poor
what?
for that book.
Blades
I got
and
this
barrels.
book.
Yeah.
I have it.
So for the kids following along at home that are fortunate enough to have copies of Blades and Barrels, it is on page 103 of the book. In fact, I can read you. There's a little paragraph. Franz Ressel was a German gunsmith who lived in Regensburg from 1872 to 1896 when he was killed in a mountain climbing accident. Now, let me get those dates right. So he was 22 years old when he died, so he built this before that. He was killed in a mountain climbing accident while attempting to scale the north face of the Jungfrau. Besides having this rather dubious distinction, Russell made very many fine pistols and rifles. On occasion, he manufactured knife pistols, one of which is pictured here. In this piece, Russell proves he was a genius in the art of concealment. For all of such combinations examined by the author and other collectors, this was by far the most innocent looking. Firing a 5mm rimfire CB or conical ball cartridge from a 3 1/4 inch octagonal barrel, this superbly made piece defies detection as to harboring of a pistol, except on the closest examination. The blades are 2 1/4, 2 3/4, and 2 inches respectively. Total closed length is 4 1/4. In order to load the piece, a folding hammer is swung out from the rear of the knife, thus exposing the breech. To fire the weapon, a serrated screw in the middle of the bone grips is depressed. 151, the lower picture, shows the weapon in its open, ready-to-fire position. I wonder if you had to open the blades to fire the gun. That would even be crazier.
Yeah.
It's funny because it's like the CB has no powder. So this, I mean, yeah, it's really cool.
Primer launched.
Yeah, but it's like a 20 caliber, no powder. Talk about pissing somebody off.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you had to, like, pull the blade out and then belly shoot, be like, oh, you stabbed me, ha ha, and then a little boom. Oh, shit.
Pop.
You got to cut a hole in them so it'll penetrate.
And you can't stitch it.
Right.
See, the last time I used this book, Tom was complaining about my candlelight knife sword or whatever.
Not complaining. I think
that was a weird
really
one.
neat mechanically.
Yeah.
But yeah,
22 years old. That's some crazy stuff.
that is pretty insane.
If we do this podcast enough, I will actually have all the pages to your blades and
Yeah, that's a good point. Good point. I'll just keep taking pictures out of it.
mm-hmm.
I'll send you a picture a day, Michael. I'll make that promise to you.
Hey, save me a whole bunch of money.
Yeah, but you
it was
won't have
not
the
cheap.
book. It's nice to be able to hold them, and I don't know. I like books
To covet the book, Tom? Is that what you're looking for?
to have and to hold.
There you go. All right, who's next? Sean is up with wild card. I'm bracing myself as I speak, grasping the arms of my chair.
All right, so this will be 3 knives. Each one, I believe, a little more exquisite than the one before. And this is from Shane Taylor's War in Heaven series. So our first knife in the series is his, what is the name of this one? The Rise of Evil. And with this one, we have sort of an upswept bladed liner lock folder with mosaic Damascus and a stone inlaid thumb stud. And then I believe that's mammoth ivory behind the mosaic Damascus bolster. Is that mammoth?
Looks like it.
Yeah. And then the mosaic Damascus has, I believe, what he refers to as demons in it. The picture ain't so great.
Yeah, he's real big on doing the canned Damascus mosaic with the very cool pictures in the middle on bolsters and blades and stuff.
Yeah.
Which, pretty cool folder. Pretty cool folder
man.
indeed. Now, the second piece in the series, and this one is called Forces of Darkness.
Whoa.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
All right, so what we have here is a dagger blade. Not sure exactly how to say that style of handle. It looks like the handle should completely enclose that blade, though.
Looks like it.
Yeah.
And then what do you think the handle material is? Because it's got both
That's
forward
mammoth.
and back bolsters. Now, what'd you say, bub?
Oh, those are some more of the same Damascus.
Yeah, but the actual, that carved scale in between the two
That's mammoth.
bolsters. Is that mammoth also?
It's orange.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Interesting.
I mean, I'm seeing a little bit of blue in it,
Yeah.
in the scale.
Definitely see some blue in the blade and on the liners.
Yeah, I think that the liners are anode titanium, and if I had to wager, that blade and the bolsters are niter blued.
That's what it looks like, yeah.
I would bet $1 on that.
With some cool
And
looking gold
that's,
inlay.
Yeah, very cool looking gold inlay. The gold inlay is a sword through a skull there on the bolster. forward bolster. I can't really make out what the rear bolster or the gold inlay on the blade are, though.
The one on the rear almost looks like a castle or something.
Yeah.
It looks like the same as the blade.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does look like it's the same as the blade.
Same kind of motif for sure.
Yes.
Just
scaled down.
rotated 180.
I dig that.
Yeah, that's a very cool piece.
And
Big
now,
old grinds on it.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Look at the thumb stud, how it's hooked to the blade. Look how thin the blade is there.
Right.
Mhm.
That
Yeah,
is
it looks like it's,
trippy.
what, 90 thousandths if it's anything.
Yeah, how's that? Wow.
Looks like he's either peened it over or it's got a little teeny screw or something.
Yeah.
That was big with a lot of the art knife guys, was those real tall thumb studs.
Yeah. Real skinny. The Master Smiths like those too.
You probably had to be kind of tall to get it out around that handle between the liners and the thickness of the handle and everything else.
Yeah. Which, man, it doesn't look like a super thick piece, really.
No.
No.
I think it looks so tall because the blade's so thin right there.
And let's not forget that the mammoth portion of it is carved with kind of a series of S's.
Almost feels like a wave.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a nice compliment to the way the bolsters are curved.
Yeah.
True feast for the eyes.
Very, very nice. Very nice.
And now for the piece de resistance.
The crescendo.
This is the reign of evil.
Ooh.
Look at that
Man.
thumb stud.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
I don't even know where to start with this motherfucker.
Same handle and blade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a dagger, but
Auto, right?
yeah.
DA.
for California. Okay.
Here, actually, he does have a bit of material on this. This is from his website, and it says, The Making of the Reign of Evil. The idea to start the War in Heaven series came to me while I was working on my Dragon series, starting in 1999. Each knife tells a part of a story. The first knife in the series, The Rise of Evil, featured a demon rising from flames. It was completed in 2003. Also in 2003, I completed the second knife in the series, Forces of Darkness. The most prominent feature of Forces of Darkness is a gold inlay of a skull with a sword thrust through it. The third knife, The Reign of Evil, displays evil reaching its zenith. It is by far the most elaborate knife I have ever made. It took me at least 8 months over a 3-year period to complete. I actually began work on this knife before beginning the first 2 knives. The work was completed in June 2005, and later that month it was awarded Best Damascus at the Blade Show in Atlanta. This is a double action folder, which was very difficult to do in this design because of the small tolerances between the blade and back bar when closed. The blade all but disappears into the handle when closed, leaving very little room for a spring and catch mechanism. The knife contains 3.5 feet of 1mm 24 karat gold wire inlay, most of which was stretched out to approximately the width of 10 hairs before inlaying it. There are several skulls hidden within the gold inlay. The gold inlay becomes more chaotic from bottom to top, symbolizing that what was once good is becoming evil. The niter blued mosaic Damascus blade features 8 demons rising from flames. A carved and gold inlaid skeletal hand protrudes from the blade to serve as a thumb stud. The hand was carved, viewed under a 25 power microscope. I first made a larger model out of clay that I used as a guide. The hand alone took over 60 hours to create. It is so detailed that even the underside of the hand displays creases in the palm. The handle steel is also niter blued mosaic Damascus with specter-like figures throughout. In the middle of the handle is what I describe as a double window frame. Shortly after I started making this, I discussed my idea with fellow bladesmith Rick Eaton. I knew I was in trouble when he told me I was crazy. The bottom layer of the double window frame is a mosaic tile of a demon. The next layer is carved mammoth ivory surrounding the demon with flame. I do not know of this ever being done before. The back bar has gold inlay inside and out, including several skulls. The pattern was drawn to match the entire theme of the knife.
Sheesh.
Right.
Wow.
What's crazy is at the bottom, like there's a skull in the inlay with the eyes or the screws.
Right.
Like a dragon skull almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, the gold inlay looks like death metal writing. It's very, I don't know how else you say that.
It always look like Roots to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a modern black metal album.
Fire.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, but very symmetric. How cool is that?
Very.
I dig that.
Yeah, that kind of gnarled hand opener pin is really, really interesting. I like that a lot.
Yeah, dude, man, it's just got a lot going for it all around. That double window frame in the center.
Yeah, right. 8 months. There's your new benchmark, Michael.
Shit.
8 months over 3 years.
I can make 8 months easy. He said, come on now.
No kidding.
Yeah, that's wild, Sean.
Every time you open it with the claw, it takes a little blood.
Right.
That'd be bitching if it did.
Yep. Saps a little of your life force away.
Yeah, there's a upside down cross in the blade too, it looks like. That's a trippy piece.
Yeah, dude, I mean, just a study in colors and, oh gosh, I don't even know where to start.
Those blues are vivid as all hell.
Yeah, seriously.
It would be a really cool piece to see in person. I got a feeling that Mammoth Oval, it probably looks much more dimensional in real life under light.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I guarantee you it's got a lot more going on than what the pictures would indicate.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, I mean, that's saying something.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, people have to get a load of this one because it's crazy looking.
A little bit of Necronomicon,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Evil Dead style.
Oh, dude, I mean, thematically, he nailed it.
Oh, God, yeah.
There's old Sean. What a journey. Sean.
Hell of a journey.
All right. What about you, Michael?
This one I was kind of almost loath to talk about because someone's going to start making it and probably make some good money off of it. But I was looking at just random shit, and I found this Tim Wright tool that he would come with, that he would send with some of his knives. So it was kind of like a driver on one side for his special pivots, but on the inside, he had a little lubricating oil,
Like a little syringe kind of thing.
little syringe of oil in the middle.
Wow.
Needle
And-
roller.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool as hell. I mean, that's a lot of work to send
It's
with
got
a
a
knife.
few extra screws in there.
Uh-huh. And then I found on our friend's site on Arizona, they have a knife that comes with one. Yeah, I couldn't
Wow.
quite figure out what the flat part of that handle was for.
The flat part of the handle.
Probably to hook a wrench on if you need it.
Oh, I see what you mean. Maybe just to give him a place to stamp his name. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. One side has the driver for his pivots, and if you scroll through some of the pictures, you'll see it.
Oh, yeah.
And the part that unscrews that holds the oil,
Do you see what it says on there?
smegma.
That's funny.
You know what that is, right?
Yeah.
Oh, gross.
What is it? What is it, Tom?
Google it.
Yeah, Tom.
Oh, boy.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, I didn't know. So maybe it goes between the liners to kind of pop them apart. I don't know.
You talking what looks like a flat blade screwdriver or the flat in the middle of the handle?
No, the flat blade screwdriver.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know.
He had it on this one. He has it on the one that I sent the picture of.
Oh, yeah.
But it's a well-turned piece that took a lot of time to include with one of his knives, and I really dig that.
Huh. Takedown tool. I wonder if it like wedges the spring on the lockback.
Maybe so.
Like you depress the lockback lever and then stick that in there to be able to hold it down so you can take it apart. I don't know.
I don't know.
Interesting.
But yeah, not sure where those little plastic cartridges come from for the oil or what, but it's a really, really cool little thing to have. I mean, if someone made one now, I'd be like, yeah, man, it's got oil, got a little fucking driver.
I wonder if it's flat like that to make it easier to unscrew.
It seems like it has more purpose because it has knurling already.
It does have knurling.
I don't know.
Don't know.
Someone smarter than me is going to have to let me know about that one.
Let's see if one of our slip joint maker listeners knows what that flat tool would be for with a lockback like this.
It has to have something to do with the lockback.
Yeah.
And I don't know what.
Yeah, I mean, it's described as a takedown tool, so like I said, it makes me think it's got something to do with holding the spring or something.
It says a screwdriver comes with a screwdriver blade, a hex driver, and an oiler. But there's nothing, I don't know. Maybe the backside is a...
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
I didn't see the hex. I wonder where the hex is.
Shit, I don't know. Oh, and the one on the paper is a hex. The one that I sent that was in the book is the hex driver as opposed to his 3-prong.
I gotcha. Huh.
So,
very cool.
Yeah, I like that. Cool little old EDC right there.
Right. Little built-in toolkit.
Yeah, that one was from Knives 86.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
All right. What about you, Tom?
Well, I went another direction. I went with something that I'd never seen before, and I ordered one. Somebody at the Texas show had one of these. Pretty inexpensive, pretty cool. It's called the EDC knife. So basically this fits on your watch band. The sheaths are all printed and you can order different sizes. I've got one on my watch right now. Kind of cool. It's like a little tiny 3D printed sheath that goes on your watch band. And then there's this little tiny square razel type looking blade that clicks into it. So wherever you go,
It's like a micro credit card knife.
Yeah.
Except it's really tiny, and it basically gives you a little edge that you can use to open packages or whatever if you're not carrying a knife, which I carry a knife anyways, but now I have another one. So
how does it snap into the sheath, Tom? Does the sheath latch onto those triangle openings?
Yep. And it'll go edge forward or edge back. It's symmetrical. And then they've also got a pin that you can get now that pops in, so you could put one on either side of your watch and have a pin or a knife. But
wow,
they're really kind of cool.
Do you put it next to the compass or you put it on the opposite side of the compass?
I don't have a compass. I wish I did, but
oh jeez,
no compass, but a cool little way to carry an extra blade. Just a little backup.
that's very interesting. I've never seen this before.
That's because it's obscure.
Oh, I think this is solidly in the Batman tool belt category.
I don't know. It's kind of cool.
It is.
I mean, it is actually very useful, and it's not big. It's not going to scare anybody if you're living in the city. The website is the Ultimus Inc. Whatever. Yeah, ultimus.com.
Ultimatist.
Ultimatist.
Yeah.
Ultimatist.
It's shipping straight from China, I think. So probably maybe not the best English.
The EDC knife and the Ultimatist website is like
very difficult for me to say. But yeah, I as soon as I got back from Texas, I ordered 2 of them. So I've got a couple different sheaths on different watches, and I can pop them in and out, and kind of cool.
Did you say you saw this at the show?
There was a person that had one on his watch, and I noticed it and asked about it.
Oh, like a customer or fellow enthusiast. Yeah. Interesting. So how do you get it out of there? You basically use the meat of your thumb to push those little 4 triangles down.
Yeah,
it slides out.
Yeah, you just use your fingernail and your thumb, and pops out.
So the other thing's a pin? They have a pin?
They have a pin that fits in there too, yeah.
Okay.
I didn't get the pin.
In case you got to write something.
Yeah, I carry a real pin, so I'm good with one.
This is Michael's version of it's shit.
Interesting.
Like
a paracord, bracelet.
to get you out of a jam.
Paracord bracelet.
To get you out of a jam.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Do we have backups for EDC?
No, that was all I had.
I don't.
Yeah.
I do not.
Really?
I mean, I do, but yeah, no.
Okay, I have a backup. Guess where it's from, Michael?
Blades
Blades and Barrel. Look at Blade and Barrel again. Look at this guy. I know Sean. I figured Sean would like this. This is a 22 rimfire knuckle duster knife gun.
Oh, yeah. I'm all about that.
So this is like a chonky ass brass knuckle with a barrel built into the handle and a blade that folds out the other end. It looks actually fairly crudely made, which makes me wonder where it came from. Makes me think it's very purposeful, but also $18.95.
Jesus Christ.
Isn't that crazy?
What is it about the more crude it looks, the more I feel like that shit got used?
Yeah, exactly. Right. Like it was made for some people that actually had to use it for something.
How do you open that blade though?
Must be a nick on the other side because it looks like it goes next to the knuck part.
Okay, maybe not in between, but next to.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it goes in between. It was
Either
true.
way,
Trippy as hell.
you don't want a log failure.
Here's the description. Yeah, so and the way it works is you load a 22 rimfire in there, and that's like you cock that little silver kind of piece on top back, and then that's a striker. And I think that you fire it by pushing on that black button on the side.
That is going to be loud as hell.
Heck yeah. Here's the description from Blades and Barrels while Tom's working up his rebuttal.
I like it.
What could be considered as an American knuckle duster is shown here. Having the knucks and frame cast out of one piece of brass, the interesting combination is 4 3/8 inches overall, not including the 2 7/8 inch folding blade. This piece, made circa 1895, features a 22 rimfire cartridge. The bolt, shown as a knob on the left side of the weapon. Bolt. Maybe I think it's that silver piece. The bolt, shown as a knob on the left side of the weapon, must be pulled to the rear in order to its open position, and the button trigger may then be depressed to fire the piece. There are no markings on this combination weapon. So no info. No idea who made it. But 1895. Crazy.
Damn.
I feel like I should try to make some of this stuff now because I've got a manufacturing FFL.
There you go. Combination weapons. Here we go.
Yeah.
See, that's why I don't need one of those.
Why you don't need one of the books?
No.
Too many
license
ideas.
The license to do
Oh, the license to thrill. I understand.
it. Yeah.
I understand.
I want to make a Gatling gun.
I think my time would be spent making a lot of these dumb things.
All right.
Yeah.
Be sweet to have enough money to just build whatever you wanted.
You can do it and just be poor. That's why I'm doing it.
Yeah, I'm there. This was a fun episode.
Yeah.
I did have one backup for this, but I couldn't actually find a picture of the one that I wanted. It's obscure enough, but I don't. You remember about 20 plus years ago, Alan Leishowitz was making watches.
Mm-hmm.
He's back
he
to
was
making
doing
watches.
Yeah. Back then he was making some with the guilloche face, and I couldn't find anything online about it even, but I always wanted one of those. They were pretty big, they were pretty blocky, and just really cool details.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were cool as hell. And then Warren Thomas was making those carbon fiber ones. We made a couple of those maybe. They were fucking cool as hell.
Yeah, those Leishowitz watches are just not out there.
Yeah. You saw the newer ones he's making, right?
Yeah, they're really cool too.
Yeah. Yep. Engine turning stuff all over the place. Really fun.
Cool stuff.
Yeah.
So, Michael.
Yeah.
What's
good
that?
idea.
Fun episode.
Yeah, I like the fun shit.
Good idea. All right. Well, thanks again to our friends on Patreon, to our pals at Giant Mouse, and to Bob and Susie. Hi, Suze. Thanks for your help and support. We wish you all the best with your video venture. And I don't know, you guys got anything else we need to hit before we wrap this thing up?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, I guess at the end of episodes, a lot of times we say a word or two about someone that passed. And, you know, we read a Facebook story recently from Bobby Branton. And we're thankful to say Bobby Branton is still with us. Rumors of his demise are greatly exaggerated, as they say.
Yeah.
There's a funny post on Facebook he put up about a friend his coming over and saying that he heard from somebody that he had passed away, that Bobby had died.
Rumors of his demise have been greatly exaggerated.
Yeah. And Bobby said, I was stunned. My only response was, well, how was my funeral? Because I missed it.
I think the other guy felt
Relief.
when Bob showed up and like, oh,
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. He said, he didn't get to see me that often. Excitedly, he said, man, I sure am glad to see you. Shocked, I asked, why was he glad to see me? So Bobby's still with us, but funny story.
We're glad you're still kicking, Bobby.
Yeah, thanks, Bobby. Thanks for
Dude
sticking
was there
around.
to buy his shop.
Yeah, right.
If you're going to miss something, your own funeral is the thing to miss.
Yes, for sure. For sure. All right.
Love you, dude.
Yeah. Well, I think that's it, everybody. Thanks for listening, and we will talk to you next time.
Take care.
yeah, thanks all.
Take care, folks.
To learn more about our makers, you can find Tom Crine on the web at crineknives.net, in his Facebook group, Crine Knives, or in his Instagram account, at Crine Knives. For Michael Birch, check birchtreeblades.com, Facebook group Birch Tree Blade Works, or Michael's Instagram at birchtreeblades. For myself and the Raygun Bead Project, we're on the web at raygundivision.com. We have a Facebook group called Raygun Division, or my personal Instagram, at msteiner. For those interested in photos, references from the show, or some discussion about the show itself, you can find us on the web at markofthemaker.com, in a Facebook group called Mark of the Maker, or on our Instagram, at Mark of the Maker. Last but not least, the ultra cool and haunting background music we use for the show is a piece called Noir Guitar by Stevie's Amp Shack, found at the Free Music Archive and licensed under Creative Commons CC BY 4.0. Thanks for listening.